My name is Victoria Rodwinner. I'm interviewing Cindy Anchor about her vegetation cover. Could you give me a general overview of what you did?
Yeah, so I basically wanted to look at whether experience level had a significant difference in how novice and professional observers estimate percent cover over artificial nests. There can be a lot of subjectivity involved, and so I used photographs and I asked different observers to kind of give me an estimate of what they consider to be cover, and then I wanted to compare that to a digital estimate that we obtained using pixel counts from Adobe Photoshop.
Okay. What were your novice observers?
I identified my novice observers just as being students within this department who could potentially be hired to estimate percent cover in the field, but who haven't to this point. They were observers with very little or no experience, and they were mostly fisheries and wildlife biology or conservation ecology students.
Okay. What were the ranges of observers you used? Like, what type of people did you have?
So as I said, my novice observers were, students from this department who have very little or no experience. My professional observers were individuals who have recently published literature involving visual estimates of cover, or who regularly perform estimates of percent cover as part of their job. So that could be with a federal agency such as U.S. Fish and Wildlife, or it could be a research scientist who's always out in the field, like taking these measurements to make management decisions. Additionally, I used individuals who teach others to estimate percent cover, so that would include professors who don't necessarily estimate cover in the field, but who teach like undergraduate or graduate students to estimate cover. So in our department, it would be like Dr. White, who teaches visual cover estimates in wetlands ecology.
How far above the nest did you take your pictures?
All of our photographs were taken from about 1.3 meters above the nest. They weren't taken specifically for my project, so they were not standardized at 1.3 meters. That's just kind of a general, from photo to photo, they averaged about 1.3 meters above the nest.
Okay. What types of vegetation cover did you study?
The photographs were taken in a couple different cover types. They were taken in fallow field, which is basically just a field that originally had agricultural purposes and has just been kind of left for weeds and really whatever to grow in. We also had hay fields, riparian zones, which are along streams and wetlands. And our fourth cover type was, I don't remember what the fourth cover type was. What did I tell you? Hayfield, fallow field, riparian, and there was a fourth one. I don't remember what it was at this point. Sorry.
That's okay.
But they were all taken, kind of spread out throughout those four cover types, and then we just used the photographs that really were the best quality. So not necessarily all four cover types were used in the photographs.
Okay. Why do you think that the differences were too close to suggest level of experience does not matter in estimating the vegetation cover?
So that's kind of something that I figured out statistically. It's not, I can look at my data and I can see general trends, but then I actually performed a statistical analysis to find that there really was no significance in the differences between professional and novice observers. And honestly, I don't have like an answer for you as far as this is what caused the lack of difference. But I do have some suggestions. There was a lot of variation associated with the project. One of the most difficult things to overcome was the fact that I was asking individuals to estimate cover from photographs. So it was really hard to get a three-dimensionality out of the photograph. And in my instructions, I asked individuals to estimate percent cover that could either that either lied above the eggs or could potentially lie above the eggs within a boundary. So without that real concrete idea of what was high enough, there was some interpretation of the photograph that may have actually caused there to be no differences between professional and novice observers.